Hello, my name is Amanda Brown and I own Cotton Onto Sewing, and today I'm going to show you how to make this Christmas bunting. We have Rudolph here and we have his other, there we go, let's open it out. There, this is what you're going to learn to make. You will need some hessian, some felt, some brown felt. For the cute little holly leaf there, you'll need some green felt. You will need, this is amazing, these are the templates. They're Calisphere templates. They're a local business and they're brilliant that you can rotary cut round these triangles and they give you the perfect pennant flag. You will need something called bonder web. The essential part of putting bunting together, you need some bias binding. So there'll be a technique that I'll show you how to put this on. And for his nose, you'll need a cute little pom-pom. You need thread, cream thread and the brown thread. There's some sequins there. We can kind of jazz up the little berries. You'll need some scissors just in case. You will need, obviously, your rotary cutter. So first of all, you get your hessian and you get the template that is Calisphere, like I said, and you're going to place it down here onto the hessian. Now I'm just going to literally draw around this because I haven't got the space here, but you can use a board and use your rotary cutter to cut round it, which is a lot easier, but I'm just going to literally get my shape of my triangle like this, and then I'm going to cut it. And there we have our one pennant. Then after you've cut your pennants that you like, you're then going to get the felt here. Here's the brown felt, and you're going to get your bonder web. So you're going to, now on the bonder web, one side is paper and one side is glue. It's not really, it's not sticky, you won't get stuck to it or anything, but you're going to put the glues, the kind of shiny side, to what would be the wrong side. You're going to place that there like that, and then you're going to iron on your bonder web. So as I said, with the bonder web, you would iron this onto the felt. Now I've just, this is already ironed on for you to see the next stage. After you've ironed it on, if you get a template, now this is the template that I'm using to put on my bunting. Obviously to make sure that it's mirroring each other, you kind of put it in half and cut round, and then we've got the perfect reindeer's head. So then I'm going to place this reindeer's head onto the paper side of my bonder web, and I'm just going to draw around this. There we go. So there, that is your template. So I'm just going to cut round this really quickly. So we've cut this out. There we go, like that. Now what you have to do with the bonder web, you have to peel this paper off. So I just literally peel back the paper like this, and then just with your nails, I haven't got any nails, but there we go. So literally that will peel off there, and you'll see what you think there's glue on the back. So you're going to peel that off there, and you're then going to iron this onto your bunting. Now sometimes the felt, it doesn't like the iron, so I would just put a little cloth over the top and give it a nice little press with a good steam there. I'm just going to boost some steam on there. And then your reindeer has magically stuck on your pennant flag. Now when you start, you want to have your needle to the right hand side on the edge of the felt. It's on the hessian, but it's on the edge of the felt. So then when the stitch comes over to the left, you're doing a nice zigzag stitch. Now when you come to turn the corners, sometimes you'll have to turn a corner on a right angle. Your needle will have to be on the right. Sometimes it will have to be on the left. So when it comes to like tricky little corners like this, really you want to ease your foot off the pedal and maneuver. Now you can see it's my left hand that's doing all the work. So I'm going to maneuver, put my needle to the left because I'm going to come back up this. You have to decide if you have to leave your needle to the left or the right, depending on if it's a 45-degree angle. There. And like another thing a lot of people do wrong, they don't hold the project at the back. So I know I'm holding this, but sometimes you need to hold this at the back to kind of make it more sturdy as you're sewing. Any project, to be honest. There, so I'm coming around my last bit. There we go, we're done. Now when I finish a applique, I don't go backwards and forwards. I just literally pull this out here, and on the back, if you turn it to the back here, you'll find there'll be a little, when I pull this thread here, there'll be a little loop up here. Now just pull that little loop through, and that's your thread from the front side coming through. And then you're just going to knot those 3 threads together, and then you can cut that thread off, and that is your finished applique. Okay. So you can see with the finished bunting that I've made, I've actually frayed round the bunting there, but you can see I've done a fine stitching line round, and that will actually stop the fraying going a little bit further. So I'm just actually going to stitch round mine. So literally just put I'm going to change it to a straight stitch. So your straight stitch is generally 2.5 length of stitch. And I'm just going to stitch around to the top. So that's really kind of, you don't have to fray it, or just leave it like that. Right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to put the bias binding onto our bunting. So when you come to place the bias onto your bunting, you're going to work from the back of the bunting. You're going to unfold the bias, and you're going to place the edge of the bias binding up against the fabric, and I'm pinning, you can see where this folded edge is here. Now I'm going to machine down on that folded edge where my pins are. You're going to do a backwards and a forwards, you're going to do a locking stitch, and you're going to machine down on that folded edge. And stopping there, backwards and forwards, there, come out, cut it off. So there, you've machined one side. Now what's going to happen is the bias binding is going to fold over to the right side of the flag, and you're then going to pin that. I'm just covering that edge of my stitch line, and then I'm going to machine where my pins are, kind of just as a nice little top stitch down there. So here, so you can see there you're folding it back over, so you can't see any machine lines there. And then we're going to machine on the top, and you would be machining this all in one. If you had another 5 flags, you would be doing the first lot of machining that I just did there on all your 5 flags, and then you would be doing this next section after you've machined everything. So you're actually machining as close as you can to the bias. So you're machining just on the edge as a little top stitch. And then, and you would go all the way to the end I'm going to pretend that we're going to go all the way to the end and just show you there. So that is how you'd finish it. So then you can see at the back, we didn't need to worry about the back because it was already caught from the first lot of stitching. And there. So now the next project you're doing, the next part of, is, just grab, sorry. We're going to just do the little holly leaf here and the little Rudolph's nose there. So I've only done this on one of the chain of, because we only have one Rudolph. So we're going to, these are little pom-poms. I'm sure you've seen them in the local fabric shops and things. And I'm just going to cut one off for his nose there. And this is all hand stitching now. You're going to get some green felt here. And I'm just literally winging this now. I'm just cutting some little holly leaves, just in the shape of holly, basically. There, just like that. There we go. There, little holly leaves there. We've got two, and I would plant that on the top of his, on his antlers things going on. So now I'm going to stitch these. I'm going to stitch these on, but I'm just going to show you a little trick. Well, it's not really a trick. So I'm just going to do a little hand stitch there with the holly through to the other side. So I'm going to pop my first sequin on, and then I'm going to pop my bead on, pop that through. Now then what you've got to go back through the sequin, not through the bead. And then these are the sequins here, you can see. So I'm just going to take off one sequin. Now make sure when you come to actually stitch sequins and beads that your needle goes through the whole of the sequin, because sometimes it doesn't. And then it then holds there. So you've got the sequin, then the bead. So you're going through the sequin, through the bead, then back through the sequin again, and there's your kind of little berry going on. So you can put 3 berries if you like. I'm going to go very, very fast now and just divert my thread over to the nose of Rudolph. So I'm going to go through the middle of his nose, pop that down. Hey, doesn't he look cute? So then we're going to go back down through the nose again. Maybe do this about 3 times to make sure that he's secure. If you have any children that are going to hold Rudolph's nose and say, Granny, this looks really cute. There we go. See, something coming together. So you can, so you can add a few more beads there and the Rudolph's nose, and that's pretty much finished. This is the finished product that you will happily be putting up on your Christmas mantelpiece. There we have Rudolph the reindeer, and I think anybody would be happy with this if you made this for them for Christmas. And there, but you can put as many flags as you like.